Hey guys, how's it going? Just seeing if you guys can hear and see my starting screen. Hey JJ. Hey Holly. Hey Danny. She's listening while she's in the car. Aw. Happy Tuesday. Yes, yes, yes. Hey Tisha. E&M. E&M is a struggle. It really is. Hey Padma. Hey Kari. Hey It's. Good on your end. Great. So glad y'all can hear me. Perfect. Oh yeah, let me close my camera. E&M is fun. I was working on some E&M notes for 2024. I was using the CEMC course to help write some AKA terms for, like, what is a self-limited minor problem? What's an example of that? Or what's an example of a stable chronic illness versus an acute uncomplicated injury? So I'm trying to scour through all the material and just add in some examples here on these charts on page 9 and 10 of the E&M book. And then I'll get started on my E&M notes for this year. I was hoping AAPC would have some more new practice exam questions or something come out yet, but they haven't for 2024, but for E&M so far. I know things just started back today for them, so today was the first day you could take your exam online. I don't know what the testing facility testing centers, when they start opening up so that you can utilize somebody else's computer and internet and all that stuff. But I can't wait to start seeing results and seeing who's the first to volunteer as tribute for this year and take the new exam. It always causes so much stress for everybody. Hey Neru, hey Michelle. I have, I'm working on prepping for this Sunday's workshop. Let's see, is that the video camera? Let me get that off the screen. So I've been working on Sunday's workshop. We're going to go over all 17 areas of the CPC or any kind of medical coding certification exam, what kind of questions they might ask in all 17 sections. I'm trying to bring up new questions that I haven't done before, either in live lessons, duck classes, or in previous workshops. I added some new duck classes and workshops to the memberships on YouTube too this week. So we've got that going on, some new videos in there. A whole new workshop was put in there. The one from September is there. I think that one had like 90 practice questions in it. It's crazy. I went on forever. It almost went 4 hours long. But between working the full-time job and everything else that I'm doing here, I went to my archives and pulled up an old live lesson that I've already done, but this one had some fun questions in it that I haven't shown in a long time, and some stuff I should get back to doing, which we loved doing these in the beginning, was like, what is a 9-letter word that means a system which includes a pulse generator with electronics, batteries, or one or more leads. I thought y'all might have fun redoing a couple of these to see if this is helpful to some people. I remember this lesson and I thought it was really fun, so I brought it back up. And yes, we can do some hypertension questions. I have some E&M, integumentary, anatomy for tonight. Some questions that I wrote myself in this lesson. Some medicine, some guidelines like unspecified and stuff, fracture guidelines. Anybody know? There you go. Yeah. It was pacemaker. Good job. What about a 7-letter word that does mean a pulse generator? CPT 2023, page 20. Could you please explain the guideline under emergency room services? Where's that book? All right. 2023, page 20. Okay, JJ, you got to tell me what a pulse generator is also known as. It's the battery. The electrode is, what's another word for an electrode? I had one the other day. Pulse generator is energy. Think of it that way. A generator creates energy. How do we, get energy in things? We either have like batteries in our watches or devices, or we have them plugged in to an electrical outlet. So think about that as a generator. Batteries can be a simple watch battery or like a AA or AAA. What's another for an electrode? An electrode is a wire. What is a 10-letter word for a physical status codes? 10-letter word of a situation in medicine where you have to have physical status codes. It's probably a better way to ask that. Leads, yep, leads, wires, electrodes. There was something else I saw somewhere this week that I thought, oh, that's a great word. They're insulated wires, electrodes. So if you ever see anything about replacing an insulated wire or something, or an insulated lead. They're just talking about an electrode, not the battery. Very good, Michelle. Yes, yes, yes. Anesthesia. Anesthesia codes have physical status indicators. They're not really codes. I guess I should have put indicators. That go along with anesthesia to let the health plans know whether the patient was healthy when they went under anesthesia or if they had several comorbidities that increased the need for supervision. A 6-letter word for a benign neoplasm? Thanks for participating, Michelle. No worries. Be sure and participate in chat. Try your best to make comments. It's super helpful. Plus, I think it increases your chances of winning a YouTube subscription. I just sent out 5. Let's see if anybody is in there that can win. Go-kart again? Swear you just won one last week. JJ won one, yay. We got Blondie, Diana, and Zena. Awesome, guys. I hope those YouTube memberships help you out. There's a lot more workshops. And the last 2 classes of last year's duck classes are there too. You're welcome. Benign. So we're looking for something that is not cancerous. A benign neoplasm. What would be a 6-letter word? Benign neoplasm. Thanks, Tammy. Mabel, you got the membership too. Suzette wants one too. Anybody? Can anybody guess a term for a benign neoplasm? Not cancerous, yep. And it's a 6-letter word. Where would you find that information? So, if we went to our books and you went to the integumentary section where benign lesions are listed, right? You got your definitions there too, I'm sure. Let's see, 114, right? 114. 114. So you could go to benign lesions and you could look through this list right here. Neoplasms, fibrous, inflammatory, all kinds of stuff right here, and see if you can't find a word. We've also moved all the benign words over here to where the codes start. Okay, while y'all are working on that, it's not tumors, because tumors could be cancerous. while y'all are working on that, I'm going to read. Somebody had asked about the ER. Who did that? Could I read page 20 of the E&M thing? Yeah, JJ did. Could you explain the guidelines in the emergency room services? So our first guideline right here is that there's no distinction made between new and established patients in the ER. That's been a previous question. It'll ask you which type of E&Ms do not require new or established, and they may give you like consultations. They might give you I don't know, preventative medicine, stuff like that. So you want to make sure that you know that ER visits, it doesn't matter whether you're new or established, you're going to be coded based off a level 1, which is a nurse visit. And I'm just talking about the last digit in each code. Level 2 is the first MD visit. Level 3, level 4, or level 5. It says an emergency room department is defined as an organized hospital-based facility for the provision of unscheduled episodic services. That means there's no appointments needed. You don't need to be scheduled. You can just walk on in or be driven in, who need immediate medical attention. The facility must be open 24 hours a day. That too also used to be a previous exam question. They can't have hours. They can't be closed for Christmas. Nothing like that. They're open. They're staffed every day, no matter what. That goes over critical care. This goes over E&M visits. That goes over observation. This goes over hospitalization, initial care, nursing home. Let's see. If a patient is seen in an emergency department for the convenience of a physician or other qualified healthcare professional, use office or other outpatient service codes 99202 through 99215. That means if a patient calls their physician, says, I'm still not feeling well. I saw the doctor this week. I need to see him again. My symptoms are increasing or not improving. But we were seen Thursday in the office. Office staff contacts the doctor who's not in the office, who's actually covering or in the ER, working a rotation there. Patient is told by the physician, hey, just come see me in the ER. I'm here working tonight. We won't charge that patient an ER visit. We will charge a regular office visit based off whether they're new or established. And that's a highfalutin code. Example, probably not on your CPC exam, but it would or could be and is definitely on your COC exam or a CPMA exam. There you go, Mabel. You got it. You got it. Lipoma. Very good. What about a 7-letter word for a bone in the nose? While y'all are working on that one, I'll read more about the emergency room setting. Time is not a descriptive component for the emergency room based off the levels in the ER department. That means if a doc spends 22 minutes with the patient, he can't just say that and walk away from the charting like you can in a doctor's office visit. They have to give us the components for the level of MDM, either by giving us the patient's chief complaints, the data that is reviewed, and then their risk assessment, Um, yeah, and they just tell us that the reasoning for this is because typically providers are going from bed to bed, seeing multiple patients in little micro increments, and the time based on collecting those individual minutes and then sitting at the nurse's station reviewing one patient's lab, switching, reviewing another patient's lab. The micromanagement to continue to count every minute would be very hard. So that's why they don't do that. So that's pretty much everything that's got to do with ER visits in these guidelines here on page 20. Was there something in specific about ER you had a question about other than those guidelines on page 20? Who got the bones in the nose? Check chat real quick. Ethmoid. Good job. Travis just got home. I have to go do some corrective action and make sure he's doing his chores and stuff like that. Here is a cute little thing that we used to do too back when I had time to prep for lessons, and we would do a mixture of seeing which one of these, because the CCS and CCA exam has 10 questions at the very end where you have to match the answers. So I was trying to find ways to incorporate that in my lessons so that y'all would get a chance to match the 10 questions at the end. So that's what this is. While I go make sure Travis is on the right track, y'all work on this one. All right, I'm back. Anybody know which one of these is a fistula? Is it a closing off of a vessel, a blood clot, a surgical passage, a piece of tissue, or a narrowing of a passage? JJ said yes, page 15, second column, paragraph 6. Hey, Marcy. I talked to AAPC. I was able to get a log-on info and schedule my exam for April. Wish you luck. Marcy, that's my birthday month, a very, very lucky month for everybody to take their exam. I do a free workshop that month too because it's my birthday month, and lots of people take their exam in that month for some reason, and it's a lucky one, so you should do really well in that month. I see D's, E's, oh, no. Nope. Let's see. Tammy, well, that's for number 2. No. Nope. And go-kart, I know you've seen this lesson before. So let's work our way from the bottom up. What is a ligation? What are they doing during a ligation? Thrombosis, we should all know that that's a blood clot, right? An AKA term for that is blood clot. So we can get rid of B. Stenosis, what my father passed away from was narrowing passage, right? So we got E. What's a graft? Transplant, yeah, easy peasy. We can figure out that one. Now we only have A and C left over. Which one is a surgically made passage and which one is closing off of a vessel? Ligation is the closing off, right? So that means our first answer was supposed to be C, guys, to make a passage. So what ligation is, let me show you on my screen. Let me get a camera up. Okay. Say this is an artery or a vessel. And this is what an artery and vessel actually really looks like, because it is a tube circular thing, right? Y'all know my veins, you know, right here. So, making a fistula is the same thing as anastomosis, that long word. What they're doing is they're cutting out part of it and then making it round again and finishing it. So a fistula can sometimes be created between two organs that it's not supposed to. Some people have this connective tissue disorder where their tissues become super sticky to each other and they grow little fistulas that feed off of each other, that extend from like a lung to even, or diaphragm to the colon area, and it's just exchanging fluids in those two areas. You don't want your lungs and colon mixing, so it can cause a lot of problems. Saw a lady here on TikTok who gets them openly up on the surfaces of her skin from her organs. They just grow and feed into the tops of her layer of her skin. So her skin is always oozing and always wet and always coming from a different organ with different types of fluids, which it's breaking down her skin just horribly. She's constantly leaking everywhere. It's hard to keep clothes clean and go out in public and even if she puts a barrier on, then she's allergic to the tape and all this stuff. It's just bed sores and stuff she's got. And no matter how many they remove, they keep coming back and growing back, and they don't know why. Just a terrible situation. And she's trying to reach out on the internet to have people help her come up with a barrier between her and her fistulas. So fistulas can be surgically, but also they can be genetically just automatically formed. So that's probably one of the things that makes that one particularly confusing, because you don't think of a fistula as being surgically, but you can create those. There's your answers. All right. Get rid of the camera again. Oh, good. I'm glad. Glad it's helpful. I know sometimes it's neat to do something different besides A, B, C, D. Hey, Andrea, no worries. Happy you're here. All right, she had a question about, I lost my spot too. Page. Jen, I work for a freestanding ED, and we use POS 23. And someone said that is incorrect. Freestanding ED. Freestanding. Are you open 24 hours? Is one thing. Yeah, you can't use that one if you're freestanding. If we look at our descriptor here for 23, it says emergency room / hospital. That means it has to be attached to a hospital. If you're just an off-campus outpatient hospital, I wonder if you would be 19 or something, or more of an urgent care facility than, I don't know. If y'all are freestanding ER without a hospital, you're just an outpatient clinic is all you are. Interesting. Sorry. JJ asked me to do another page of E&M. What was it? It was a paragraph. I got there and then turned the page. Y'all are open 24 hours. Y'all have no admissions, no hospitals. Freestanding ER. That's great. We got a new freestanding ER too. It's one of these, it looks like a chain, like Walgreens, but they're all freestanding ER. 24. It says freestanding. So I don't do coding and billing for real life situations. And I do HEDIS measures for patients in real life. But, yeah, we just got one of those. Not part of a hospital. Preventative meds. Independent clinic, that's 49. I don't like that one. I wonder if you would qualify as a 72 as a rural health clinic of some sort. Because you're doing ambulatory, I don't know. But it says freestanding. It's interesting. Interesting question. Where is JJ's thing? It was something about second column. Where did it go? Page 15. There we go. Page 15. I love your detailed instructions on where to find stuff. Second column, 6th paragraph. Are you talking about the neonates or patient admitted to the hospital? We know that admission services for neonates, 28 days or younger, requiring intensive observation, frequent interventions, that's going to be a 99477. Maybe she's talking about the next one where it is when the patient is admitted to the hospital as an inpatient or observation status in the course of an encounter in another site service, meaning the hospital emergency room, the office, nursing facility. The services in the initial site may be separately reported with the 25 modifier and may be added to the other evaluation and management services, indicating a significant separate identifiable service by a same physician or other qualified healthcare provider was performed on the same date. This guideline just means if a patient starts out and is seen in the ER and then they make a decision to admit the patient into the hospital as inpatient admit or transfer them over to observation, you now get to bill both visits. Prior guidelines to 2023, we were not able to do that. That's why this is all in green, the font color, and now we get to bill both. Now, will you see both answers on a possible CPC exam question? When you're asked, is this an observation, is this an inpatient, or is this an ER visit? No, not always. They're not always going to remember that you could bill both, but you just got to pay attention to what they're asking at the bottom of the question. I don't know if that makes any sense. It's just that you won't see this correct answer with both the ER listed and your observation and your admit listed as the correct answer for every situation seen like this, for every one of AAPC's questions. So don't go looking for guidelines that you know that are there in every single question. take each question in E&M and look at the bottom sentence, the very last sentence, find out what question are they asking, because the question will have a bunch of history on it. This is a patient, this age, they started out here, they ended up here, and we did this, that, and the other thing to them. And then at the very bottom, a lot of people skip the last sentence because they're assuming what they just got told about that patient in E&M questions is what they think they're supposed to be answering. But usually, the very last sentence tells you exactly what out of that scenario is propaganda and stuff you shouldn't even pay attention to. And they only want this particular answer. But this one is a new guideline for 2023. I hope that helps, JJ. Do you have notes about the headers and the color for them? Yes. For so far, I do have color coding stuff for integumentary, respiratory, and anesthesia and musculoskeletal. So anybody that's purchased the 2024 notes of those particular sections that I've finished so far and posted, I just posted respiratory up yesterday, gets the color coding. Absolutely. Okay. Let me get rid of this. And where are we at with our document for tonight? Okay, this one right here. Which one is a 10-digit intelligence-free numeric identifier to replace all provider legacy numbers? What the heck is that? We have two here that start off with the letter A. If you're looking for anything that has similarities, we've got indicators. Yeah, two indicators. But I don't know. What do you guys think is the correct answer for this one? Yes, NPI. Perfect. How can I get into HEDIS? What do you recommend? Inside my Discord group. So if you haven't been to the website medicalcodingbyjen.com, and then underneath the social media tab, there is a link to our Discord group, and it's just an app on any phone. And when you go into the Discord, our Discord group has all these rooms. I've got normal chat room, we've got where to start with your book prep, Discord tips. If you've not watched or seen anything about Discord and don't know how to navigate inside of it, that one's got a good video for you. But I've got all these rooms, practice question rooms, E&M help, what to expect on exam day, ICD-10. They're all full of 2 years worth of information in here. But I do have a room that shows you HEDIS measures. And what I do, I put in all the PDFs you can download and print. It tells you exactly what each HEDIS measure is. Like our asthma medication ratio, I have to make sure any patient of ours in our group that has been diagnosed with asthma actually goes to the pharmacy and picks up their albuterol 12 times a year. Every time they don't, it's counted against us by that provider because they didn't get their patient to refill their medicine monthly. They need their rescue inhalers, right? So then there's a year, the spreadsheet tells you all about whether it's testing, retired, if it's still in use guideline, if it's the first year, if it's getting any payments to the doctors, and who is submitting for those health plans or provider offices. But I've got a list of all the measurements here. If you're curious about them, you would go to NCQA is the name of the website for the upkeep of all the HEDIS measures. And I'm sure I've got a list of everything here about what's going on and where to go to find it in this room. So if you're interested about HEDIS measures, I recommend you going to N as in Nancy, C as in cat, ooh, wrong one, NCQA. Here we go. Me and my handwriting, I was trying to draw an elbow fracture the other day. Whew, my handwriting. But NCQA is a really good website about all the HEDIS measures. Who's taking their exam soon? Do you have any notes about headlines and the colors of them? You can make up any color code you want to. Just start keeping up. Okay, I'm going to do all incisions in yellow. I'm going to do all subsequent or second visits in orange, all initial visits in yellow, those kind of things. What about a APC status indicator for a clinic or ER visit? Where would you find this? Because it is in your manuals. Every question asked has a place for an answer. And if you're sitting down for a medical coding exam, what book are you running to find that? You're welcome, Michelle. Happy to help. I love HEDIS measures. You know, it's great. It provides money back to clinics so that they can purchase new equipment, new resources, more staff, and it also makes sure that patients are getting the treatment and resources that they need. If they don't meet the qualifications and get their patients to refill all 12 prescriptions, then the doctors get in trouble. It's a way to hold them accountable. You can't just prescribe or say somebody has asthma and then not care whether they are getting their meds. What if they can't get their meds? What if they're not covered? They can't afford it. You got to find a way, MD, to get this done, you know? So I think it's great. I love HEDIS measures. Out of all the things that I can do or have done in medicine, besides one-on-one patient treatment, HEDIS measures is the most rewarding for me. I like it. I miss my patients, but I got you guys now. Consuela, yes, you are correct. HitPix book. We are running to the HitPix book. Yes, yes, yes. It has a list of all your status indicators in it. Which one would be the status indicator for a clinic or ER? What do you guys think? You're taking yours next month? I'm excited. I can't wait. I know I've got a few people in here that are taking it. Somebody's taking it on the 22nd or the 21st. So I can't remember who that is, but that's coming up on Monday. So that's exciting. I'm doing a workshop this Sunday. So if anybody wants to join in on that or have the replay for the next 90 days of all the questions, so you can pause the screen, give yourself a minute and 50 seconds to try to come up with the answer yourself during the replay, and then get your time up to the fastest you need to be for that exam. Yeah, that's a good way to do a really good practice. You know, you don't have to sit down and do the whole 3 hours of watching the video with me. If you've got 10 minutes while you're putting on your face in the morning, you know, then you can start with a question or two with your books beside you while you're doing your makeup. You know, you don't have to sit there for the whole 3 hours. So I love the replays are great. Plus it gives you a really good idea of how fast you need to go for the exam. What did y'all guys come up with? I got a V. I got two B's. It is V. Very good. Which is B. If you're in the 2023 hit picks, that AAPC turns out every year, it's on page 575. It's the purple one. The AAPC version of the hit picks has almost 800 pages in it. They got a lot of info in there, including some coding guidelines in there too. So it's crazy. All right. We have symptoms down as possible diagnoses. 2 of them start out with the ROs, and then 1 of them starts out with the R1. Just knowing those differences is super helpful. What do you guys think the answer is for this one? Go-kart, you're going to take it in April? Awesome. I think I got you down for the workshop go-kart. So you should be all set. Just finished the course this week and be prepping my book with your notes. Fingers crossed, Jen. Aw, my heart and fingers and toes are so crossed for you. I hope it helps out a whole bunch. The process of elimination works. Just try it out. Yes. And it's something you can't just learn in one live lesson. You got to practice it. Find as many questions as you can. Look at the answers and just give yourself a guess. If you were guessing, which one would be the answer? Mark that one as your answer and then work the question like you normally would and then see how many you got correct with your first process of elimination answer. Super helpful. Looking for similarities and irregularities. What is AAPC's favorite answer? Yay, Tammy, great. I'm taking mine for the 3rd time in March or April. Andrea, you're going to get it this time. And I know it's super frustrating to spend that money over again to buy 2 more attempts. You're testing March 22nd. It's awesome. Yes, AAPC's favorite answer is none of the above. Perfect. You guys got that one right. This one, you cannot bill for immunization services, or would we be billing for a 99460, a 71, or a 715? What would we bill for this scenario? We have an 11-year-old who's getting tetanus. With pertussis and diphtheria. What would we code for this answer? RO through RO9 is all circulatory and respiratory. Awesome. Good job on those practice exam questions. Awesome. Suzette, congratulations. You just won that YouTube membership. I hope it helps. Today would have been the first day possible, I believe, if anyone could use a testing center. I haven't looked at AAPC's site today. I had to work, job today, so I haven't been around on the social media sites to see. But I will check it out today after we get done with this, because I work till 6 and then I hop on here at 6:30, so. I did contact AAPC and ordered another course from them today. It's the one MK wanted me to take. What was that? It's going to take them a couple of days to give it to me. I think it's CDEO. This one does, what does it do? CDEO. They got so many certifications. Good gracious. Yeah, that's not helpful. Nope. Certified Documentation Expert Outpatient, CDEO. I'm not sure. Is that the one? What do you guys think is the answer for this one? Get back here on my Word document. Yes, anytime you see the word councils, you know for a fact it is always tied to the 460 code. You will never use 471 when you see councils with an immunization. It always has to be your 460. Perfect. Which modifier is appended to a split or shared claim for a Medicare Part A? You like coding, lab, and path in medicine? That's awesome. Those are tricky areas. Sophia, there you go. There's a YouTube membership. I hope it helps you. I'm testing next month. Do I need to renew my Codify? I'm not even sure what Codify is. Is it linked with practice? Codify is something you don't even need for CPC exam. It's I don't know. It just tells you like a lot of billing information. Like if you were going to bill things, let's see. Let me see. Is that window? Where am I at? I'm at AAPC certifications. It's Word. Is that it? There we go. Okay. So if we go to, let's see, it would be located in your AAPC account under subscriptions if you do have it. And you click on it right here. And of course it's not going to do me because I need to log out. Hold on. If you get this from time to time, it's just a pain. I don't know why. But y'all cover your eyes. Don't look at the password. All right, so we'll go here, go to subscriptions, go to this. I don't like it. It doesn't do anything. But like if you go to, let's see, 53452, go to a CPT code. You've got what modifiers can be used with this one. You got something about fee schedules. You could change it from national to like local Los Angeles, whatever you wanted to do. Y'all can't even see what I'm showing off because the drop down menu won't show up for you guys, but you can change this from national to Los Angeles and it'll tell you what the price is for whatever, maybe. I don't think it really works very well, but we'll see. Was there Riverside, Yermo? I don't know. But it's supposed to tell you prices and what the split would be if there was 2 doctors, whatever. Pre-op gets 10% of the money, intraoperative is 80%, and then post-operative is 10% of the money. I don't know. Tells you what modifiers and guidelines, the MUE stuff. It tells you if there's a survival guide for this stuff or related articles, but then you don't have access to them. You'd have to purchase this if you wanted to look at the guideline alerts, which is a pain. There's also guideline information here, but usually it's not very helpful. There's historical information. It tells you when the code was generated. Any advice, they never have any advice about any codes. What you can report it with. It's just a lot of crap. If you want to look at revenue, something or another, if you want to look at ICD-10 codes that can go along with it, that's kind of cool. I mean, you know, kind of cool. What ICD-9 would go with this, but that probably won't work anymore, right? Because we haven't been in ICD-9 in a long time. What HipPix might work with this particular CPT code, that's kind of helpful. And then what kind of drugs? There is no database of drugs with that one. One thing that Codify does have sometimes is, I don't know if you would have access to it or not, but under these publications in Codify, if you go to the survival guides, that might be interesting for you because it does like survival guides for a lot of things, like introduction to cardiology or whatever. Some of it's kind of helpful, but a lot of it's just like somebody asked a question and what they said the answer was. But it's a lot of reading. It's a lot of reading. Good gracious. But that might be interesting, but you can download those in a PDF form that might be helpful. Some Codifys don't have access to that. I don't know. I think this coding and healthcare newsletter is pretty much the same as the magazine articles, but the interesting thing is they have a quiz here you can take for some of this stuff. if you have access to it. So again, I'm under publications, I'm under coding and healthcare newsletters. I do have a quiz you can take. The problem with these quizzes, like, they do give you some CEUs, is they don't give you rationale when you do take them. You will get to see whether you did the answer right or wrong. Like this one's for 2024, urology. This is where I'll find some new E&M ones right here, some new E&M practice questions. I haven't looked at these yet. I got a bad request, so I don't know. I may have to log in and log back out again. But again, they may not be ready, or I may not have access to these. So some of these, yeah, I don't know what's going on with it. But some of those might be cool if I could get into them. But I don't know what your Codify has access to. And it has a lot of glitches like this in it. So that's what Codify is. Anyway. Sorry, it's not working 100%. It never really does. All right, let me get back to our questions. Did we do this one? Which modifier is appended to a split or shared claim for Medicare Part A? Did you guys give me that answer? The documentation course, yeah. Never used it. How do I practice with the YouTube membership? Okay. So, go back here and go to YouTube, Medical Coding by Jen, right? Go to my playlist. You'll have access to all of them. Go to the workshop, right? And let me click into these and see, don't I have one that is December's? Where's December's? That one, this one right here. This one was the free one right here. I should be able to watch this one.
I heard about healthcare.gov and how easy it was
after we get through with the commercials
to sign up. And with the new law, I was able to find a plan at
skip. So that eliminates A. So I'm already here, but just start with the first question. Here's your first question. Stop the screen. Set a timer on your desk with your cell phone for 1 minute and 50 seconds and go find the answer. We know that the place of service answer, of course, is going to be on your very first, I can't get the video camera to show for some reason, the very first page in your CPT book, the place of service page. But I don't know why it's not showing on this particular page, probably because I have the other camera up, but yeah, there we go. You know it's going to be right here. You would turn here to find that answer. And then release the video and see if you got the answer correct, right? And then as soon as the next question comes up,
build your skills.
You'd hit pause again.
There's a little screenshot of
Yeah. Pause the screen right here. Go find your answer. Give yourself 2 minutes to do it, and then unpause it. So you've got access to 75 or more questions right here that go in like what the order of the exam, you know, starting off with anatomy and anesthesia and some guidelines, going through every section. You just hit pause, give yourself 2 minutes, try to do the question, and then unpause it, see if you got it right, and then make notes in your books. That's how you use my workshops. I hope that's helpful. And we'll get rid of that and get rid of that. And let me pause you. Stop YouTube. Okay. Go back here. Go there. And did we get answers for this one? Thank y'all for the thumbs up on the YouTube video for tonight too. I hope this is super helpful. On that, if you didn't win, I always try to give away YouTube memberships with every live that I do. I'll do some more giveaways on Thursday, but when you're subscribed, the join is the one that you hit to join if you just want to pay for it. And you can pick any level. The levels don't mean anything. I know I put in there that they give you more access, but they don't. Everybody that's on all levels gets access to everything. It's just whatever you want to contribute. If you want to contribute $4.99, then great. If you want to contribute $14, then you can. It's just up to you guys. Pick any level you want, but that's right there just by hitting the join when you're on my website. And then the home page has when my next one will be. Like we've got one going live right now, and then we have another one scheduled for the 18th. So you can hit the notify me, and that way your phone will go off when I start my next live. But anyway, that is cool. Thank you, Go-Kart and Anointed, for the super chats over this year too. Keep meaning to thank y'all for the super chats. And let me get back to this Word document. And our answer to this one, of course, is the FS. Yes, yes, yes. What about this one? According to Ultrasound Coding Guide Criteria 93970, the duplex scan of extremities of the veins is a bilateral study of the upper extremity images of which vein? Where would you find the answer to this one too? Yeah, you can't use Codify on the exam. I hope that helps you out about what's on there. If I missed your question, please ask it again, because chat was rolling by super fast. Yes, you'll be able to watch the replay all you want for 90 days with the link that you get in your email. It will not be available in the replay under the memberships for the first 90 days. But the email that you get when you purchase the workshop, it's going to have a link in it, and that link is your replay. You'll have unlimited access for the first 90 days. And then I'll put it in the YouTube membership replay. Thank you, JJ. You're welcome, Sophia. Do I need to purchase the 2024 CPT book? I have some documents in my store on my website that will change your 2023 CPT book into a 2024. I've done that both for the ICD-10 and the CPT book, and I don't think it was any trouble or struggle at all. I think it's a great year. The E&M guidelines don't change that much. There isn't anything as far as a nightmare worth of new codes in one section. It's just a random 3 or 4 new codes here or there per section. A little bit more in immunizations, because there's some new COVID crap, but they're probably not even going to be on the exam. So I think it's a great year to keep your 2023s. So up to y'all whether you want to purchase those or not. But it's a whole nother book. I wrote this question. Does this change your answer for this particular question if I wrote it? It is not an AAPC question. It is one that I wrote. Because I see all those D's. And normally, if AAPC had written this question, the answer probably would be D, but it is not. D is not the correct answer for this one. Upper extremities, right? Upper extremities. Where would you find the answer? Whoops, wrong one, guys. Sorry. Where would you find the answer? Well, one place I like to go is Appendix L, right? Because we have all these body part drawings, right? In here. So, where is the popliteal? Where would popliteal be, for example? Or B? Look, here's our great sap. Great sap is, in what body part is this? This is a leg, right? Here's our popliteal. It's also in the leg. Look at our question. Our question said upper extremity. Would the great sap or the popliteal be right? Are we in the right area? No. So upper extremity is arm, right? So which one of these matches? Is there anything over here that matches? There's our little thing for salad dressing. Looking word, balsamic. It looks like balsamic to me. But that's what I like using the Appendix L for. They said upper extremity. They said vein. Arteries are red. Veins are blue. I knew exactly what picture to come to back here in Appendix L. Upper extremity. Vein is blue. Then I could just word match with anything that's in that particular question. And it would be one of these. Yep, and we were doing upper extremity. So we knew we were going to be arm. And then you just needed to look in the veins. So you can utilize these appendixes in the back of the book to help you find answers like this. Also, there is an area in ICD-10 where you can find this too. I just like Appendix L, and I like keeping everything in CPT. If you're in the 2023 book, that's the page number. It is also mentioned in those radiology area over there too. But yes, I wrote that question, so when I write them, you know D will never be the answer. So I make them more difficult. All right, which body system is not included in a physical therapy evaluation? What do you guys think? I'm glad you liked it, Juanita. Thanks for saying so. I need to find all the old lives where I wrote the questions and compile them into one document for you guys, because some of them are, really cool questions, and I can't remember what they were or what date I did that or had time to do it from one week to another. I just have all these old documents that are labeled live. This one was dated 6/16/2023. That's all the info I get. And I never know, well, what did I do on 6/16? I have no idea. Yeah, this one's kind of tricky just because I've done physical therapy as a patient before when I crushed my hand at Disney. What year was that? 2021. And they actually do a lot with the lymphatic system. To get my fingers moving again, we had to do lymphatic massages and stuff. It was the only way to get my joints that were frozen from the compression fractures to work again. So I probably would have gotten wrong. I probably would have went cardiovascular for this one. But it is lymphatic. You're correct. All right. We've got a difference between codes that are super close. There can't be any real process of elimination. The only thing that I think about is sometimes it's not the first code and sometimes it's not the last code. Usually it's a difference between the two in the middle. It's not always 100%, but it's where my mind goes when I'm looking at these codes. But just what I'm thinking in my head. I still look them up 2 at a time. So I would pick 2, look up those differences, then skim my question from the bottom up to see if it's that or not, and then move it down and look up 2 more codes if it wasn't those 2. Because I can't do 4 things in my head at one time. I just can't. What do you guys think? It's another YouTube membership. Let's see if anybody's on to win. Angela, you just won. I hope that YouTube membership helps out a whole bunch. Yep. And I put this code in to codify a minute ago. I don't know if y'all noticed that. But that is the correct answer. Good job. Which criteria would support an initial encounter 7th character? I've seen a couple of questions come across that have been on the medical coding exam asking about 7th characters. So this is a good one to see. What criteria would support an initial encounter 7th character? Medication adjustments, evaluation and coordination, checking surgical wounds, or first physical therapy evaluation. What do you guys think? Thank y'all for the thumbs up on the YouTube video. That helps push out the content. I'm trying to get 100,000 subscribers this year on YouTube. I've got close to 50, so I'm halfway there. I know several of the other medical coders that are on YouTube already passed the 100,000 mark, and they've got one of those silver plaques from YouTube that they get to show off. I want one of those behind my desk. That would be cool. And subscribing is free, so that's 100% all free, just somebody that watches the videos. So that's awesome. I hope I get there this year. That would be cool. Especially since I know there's other teachers out here that already have it, so it's kind of like a competition. But I know their YouTube videos are more professional than mine are. They all have these intros and are professionally done. We'll never get there. I'm just some lady on the internet shining a camera down on my desk. I'm not as professional as they are. So it may be a dream I can't meet, but it'd be cool to have a plaque like they do. I purchased your notes for changing both CPT and ICD-10 book. If I run out of time to transfer all the notes, what parts should I focus on the exam? In the CPT book, you can get all of those transferred. I know you can. There's not that many codes. I would not do the COVID or any of the new vaccine ones. There's one vaccine for the monkeypox. Add that one. But the rest, you don't have to add all those vaccines for the COVID mess. Just don't even worry about none of that. For the ICD-10, add the migraine headaches. There's new codes for that. Get those all down. And the ones for, I gave away all my books, so I don't know, what I have in there now because I gave them away to people in need after I marked them up. So I remember there was some status ones, some Z ones in the back of the book for some abuse ones. It gets crazy back there, but a couple of them would not hurt if they look like they are generic, not getting down to the nitty-gritty like crazy 7-digit long ones, but there's a couple for abuse of like a caregiver or foster care situation. I might write one or two of those down, but I know there gets to be way too many back there. But hopefully that's helpful. Thanks, Michelle. Thanks, Consuela. Take your time. I really prefer you guys to try the certification exam all by yourself without buying my notes. Try to do it what you see off my lives. I also have a book prep page on my website that shows you how to make the notes yourself. Try to do it without spending any more money. I know y'all are pennied to death about things. And then if you don't pass your certification exam, you'll get a printout of exactly what sections you did not do well in on the exam. And then that way, if cardiology is your lowest, then you just have to get the cardiology notes, right? It could save you money. So anyway, but they're there if you need them. And there's also financing available now. And I pay for all the fees, charges for financing them. So if you want to go through, I don't remember what the name of the company is. It starts with an A, a firm, or I think there's PayPal one too that extends it out over payments. There's no interest, no charges, no late fees, none of that stuff. I told them to charge me all that stuff if there is anything like that. So that's on my website too if you need it. Thank you, Nero. You're awesome. This one, 7th character, you need a 7th character if there is a fracture, right? Yep. Seventh characters can be found at the first 3 digits of an ICD-10 code. Don't try to go down to the 6 digits of an ICD-10 code and try to find your 7th character. It won't be there. That's supposed to be a dot. That's a period. So your ICD-10 codes are like S42, blah, blah, whatever. And then you need either an A or an S over here on the 7th character. Don't forget to find your 7th characters. You have to stop at S42 or S82. Whatever it is, you stop there. That's where you get the list of all of your 7th digits. It won't be found down here if you're down here looking at some other codes like S82012. You won't find it there. You got to go all the way back to the S82. Which scenario may support subsequent encounter 7th character? Okay. First time? Nope. If you're subsequent, you know it's probably not a first time, right? Ambulance, emergency services, checking a fracture, or second opinion? What do you guys think on that one? Affirm, yeah. Took me 2 days, 4 hours each day to update my 2023 into 2024 notes. It's about how long it took me to make the notes, was 2 days. Wasn't bad for CPT. ICD-10, I think it took me 3 days. Yes. We're still checking on those fractures. Absolutely. E&M question. Now, don't get nervous about the X right here. That just means it could be an ER visit ending in, inpatient hospitalization ending in 1, 2, or 3. We don't know, but it's just an admit hospitalization. So the first thing you got to do with E&Ms is we don't do the process of elimination. Go look and see what your headers are for each one of your codes. This is observation that includes an admit and a discharge all in the same day. This is just an admit hospital visit. This is just a discharge hospital visit. This was written by aapc, so this could be considered D, none of the above. What would we bill for a Medicare patient who was admitted and discharged 4 hours later, same day? How is it coded? Correct, JJ. And Nicole, yes. Just because you have an ADA does not mean that any exam that you scheduled is going to allow you to utilize your ADA. You have to verify with your proctor whether they are going to accept it for that appointment time. Whether it's online or whether it's at the testing center, you need to find out from the proctors if they're allowing ADAs that exam attempt. Remember, Medicare does not pay for observation care at all, so we know A cannot be our answer. They're asking us to code something that was an admit and a discharge. We know it cannot be C, because that's a discharge only. Does that help? What do you guys think the answer is? Yes, JJ, I'm sorry. So if you have already been approved for an ADA where you get an extra hour, or you get, I guess that's basically the major thing, is an extra hour to take the exam, just because you scheduled an exam doesn't mean that exam has to accept your ADA and is going to allow it that day. Many proctors, either online or at the testing center, will need to know in advance that they need to stay an hour later for you. They need to know ahead of time. And the communication between the email that you get to schedule an ADA for a 5-hour test does not automatically link to your scheduling a ADA or scheduling any sort of exam. They don't have that linkage set up. It's just they email you this approval, and then it's up to you to make sure that your proctor will allow you to stay an extra hour. Many even in-person exams given out by AAPC at AAPC testing centers by approved AAPC people would turn away and not do the extra hour because they had scheduled other events after it and thought they were going to get out at a certain time. If they started the exam at 8 a.m., they wanted out by 1 and they were done for the day. They didn't want to stay till 2. So you have to make sure that the testing center realizes your exam will take 5 hours and that they've scheduled you for a 5-hour exam. So be very, don't just take AAPC's word for it that you have an ADA and magically it's all going to work out. That doesn't happen. You need to communicate with your testing site, even the online testing people, and you need to email them the ADA approval letter that you got in your email. You're going to have to forward it on to them and make sure you're scheduled for a 5-hour exam. Yeah, and the problem with the online exam, if you're doing it online remotely from home, they don't assign you a proctor until you log on to take your exam that day. So the first thing you need to do is when you get on that Zoom call with your person is go on and have your email brought up on your screen for them and ask them where you can email it, that you have an ADA, you get 5 hours for your exam, where would you like me to email this to you at? And have that up on your screen so that you can forward it to them. If you're going to the measuring place, the site location to take an in-person exam, you should be able to email them or call them and easily verify that you do have a 5-hour exam scheduled. That shouldn't be too much of a problem. It's just the remote online ones, they're going to be a bit testy because they didn't know when they were getting assigned to you 5 minutes before your exam time that they were going to have to sit there for 5 hours instead of 4, but you know, they're going to get over it. 300 minutes. This one would be just an admit. Yep. Perfect. An admit code. Integumentary. Again, all of these are right in a row. Not a lot of room to be able to do the process of elimination. But the interesting thing on the previous question was that the second code was the answer. It was one of the ones that I did do the elimination on. This one is, usually it's not the first code, usually it's not the last. It could be a difference between these two, but verify. That's all I do with these, is look at them in numerical order and do that. It's not always correct, but it's easier when it's all in a row. This is the more expensive one out of all of them, so think about it that way. This one is one of the cheaper ones of the procedure, and then they move up in value and price or difficulty as you go up, and then that's the most costly one, so think about that. All we're doing today is removing some sutures. That's it, while the patient's under anesthesia. It doesn't seem like it would have escalated from a 1 to a 4 to me, you know? It is B. Good job. Surgeon indicates that a lesion is an uncertain neoplasm prior to receiving the pathology report. How is that coded? Perfect exam question for a coding exam, whether you're CCS, CCA, CPC, God forbid you're doing the NHA thing, but I know there's some of you guys that did get into that course through NHA. Be sure and back that up with a second certificate. You will definitely need to get either a CCS or a CPC if you did enter into the NHA world. Let me check on James real quick. He is sick again. I'm going to give him a pill. I'll be right back. Okay. Both of my kids are already trying to go to sleep. It's 8:15. They act like 70-year-old men sometimes. What 15-year-old goes to bed at 8:15? Ones that don't have access to social media, actually. I'm such a great parent. They're so mad at me. All right. Uncertain neoplasm. What's the answer? Yeah, I don't know who brought it up. Somebody in chat brought it up, so that wasn't all me. What's the difference between NHA and AAPC, and why is it not recommended? Employers, for some reason, do not recognize NHA's medical coding certification. They have, for some reason, decided, here in the United States anyway, that they like AAPC or ahima, AHIMA, medical coding certification. I assume it's a marketing issue. I'm not sure. NHA won't even let you sit for your medical coding certification exam without taking a course, and it's their course that they want you to take. AAPC, on the other hand, has no prerequisites, and you can just take the certification exam without a course. I have no idea why, but I know that employers will not hire anybody here in the United States that has they got a big long acronym, CB something 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 acronym for their medical coding. NHA does for coding. For some reason, I don't know why. I'm not that knowledgeable about all of that. I just know the differences in the companies. And I like AAPC because they give you 2 attempts for the same price as one. Ahima has the same pricing for sitting for their certification exam as AAPC. I think it's $400 or $500 for an attempt to take the medical coding certification exam. But ahima only gives you 1 attempt per price. Oof. No one accepted it. I don't know why. I mean, they force them to take a course. It's crazy. Unspecified B. Did you guys get that right? Even in the pharmacy world, the pharmacy tech certification is not recommended by employers. Wow. And their courses can't be cheap either. And that's such a devastating news when a coder pays all that money, takes all this course, gets certified, and then no one will hire them. And no one told them that you shouldn't take that one. It's really a shame. PTCB. Which one of these codes would be reported for allergy shots that were prepared by a physician given to the patient who will receive 2 injections every week at another healthcare facility? I think that sounds like something I wrote. Not sure. You're a pharmacy tech? When the apocalypse happens, we're all running to JJ's house first, stocking up on antibiotics and steroids. Just so you know, JJ, we're headed your way when the zombies appear. What do you guys think? A patient has the need for allergy shot administration. What do you guys think? I've got 2 hours of TikTok replay to post up on YouTube tonight. I've already got it downloaded. I just need to upload it in for the YouTube membership. It will be a replay of, was it respiratory? Book prep video that I did Sunday. Did a couple of hours. Q&A. So that'll be going up on YouTube tonight. Gonna work some more on E&M, but I gotta prep all the questions for this weekend's workshop. Yes, B is the answer. Good job. What about this one? Ended on a difficult one. We have a patient coming in for infusion and push therapies. How would we code? If you're looking for process of elimination, every single answer has the very first same CPT code, so good. The second CPT code, only 3 of them have the same CPT code. That means we would eliminate A as a possible answer, just because we're looking for similarities, right? All of the third code is the same. And then for the fourth code, we have D that has a different code. So that one could also be eliminated. Now we're down to a 50-50 shot. The only difference that is going on between these is whether I would times 2 the 11 code or not. That's it, because all the other codes are the same. So the only code I would look up is 96411. What's going on in that code? What is that code? It's a lot better way of doing these questions than looking up 4 different codes and having all these codes in your head. There's no reason for that when they're in every single one of the answers. 964. 11, what's that? 11 is intravenous push technique injections. How many of these injections are push? What's the difference? Anybody know the guideline in telling the differences between infusion and push therapy? Indeed, chemo. JJ is going to rock her hip picks part of the CPC exam. But they don't have anything listed here as far as in a syringe. They're just telling you they're administering this, that, and this. Do you know by looking at these names which ones goes in syringes? I'm sure JJ does. And which one goes in an IV bag? But if you're not working in a pharmacy, How else would you go in? You have to compound them. Well, there's 2 drugs here that do not get compounded. Ooh, we need JJ to send us all trizipatide, whatever that is, the Monjarno compound, so we can all be skinny like Oprah. Infusion is a drip process. That means it's very, very slow. But a push means it happens very, very fast. We have some guidelines over here on page, what book am I in? I'm in the 2023 book, page 832. First column, first paragraph under injections and intravenous infusion, chemotherapy, blah, 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 administration. Anything less than 15 minutes or less that is intravenous or intra-arterial is defined as a push. So we've got how many meds that have a time listed that is less than 15 minutes? We have 2. And then we have 2 drugs that are over 15 minutes. So, since we've got ourselves down to just B or C, how do you do 2 drugs that are pushes? Because we know that's our 11 code, because we just looked at our descriptor and it says the word push. It also has the word each inside of it, the CPT code descriptor. And if you have my notes, you've got my little symbol of the X with the S that means you can times this one for each. Since we did 2 drugs, we know 2 is our answer. Yep, that is correct. Anytime you see the word each. That does mean multiplier. Yep, perfect. Awesome, guys. I hope this was super helpful. And congratulations to all the winners. I think we gave away like 10 subscriptions today. I hope that's super helpful. Hope y'all dive into those old workshops, and I hope it helps out a whole bunch. You're very welcome. If you need anything, the website has got full of stuff. Don't forget to join the Discord group. It is super helpful. There's always 100 people in there standing around waiting for somebody to post a question or need help. There's always somebody around. Don't forget you can search conversations inside Discord and look up previous questions if you have something that you want to ask. Probably somebody else has asked it too. You can look up the old conversations and find answers to questions there too. Super helpful. Don't forget about the shared gallery on my website. The baby pink and baby blue pages, you need to copy down the amount of components that are in each vaccine. That can be super helpful. There's nowhere else to find that information unless you go to each vaccine's manufacturer page and find out how many components are inside each vaccine. I've got it all for you. You can just go straight to that page and look those up yourself. The CPT code is listed on the left, and then the The last column has how many components it has in it. Just go write that beside each CPT code. Just in case you get the immunization question that'll ask you how many components something has in it. Super helpful, but it's all free under Shared Gallery on my website, medicalcodingbyjen.com. Can't think of anything else that I'm forgetting, but I hope you guys have a wonderful night. And I love you all, and I hope this was super helpful, and I'll see you tomorrow night on TikTok and again here on YouTube on Thursday night. You're welcome, guys. Thank you guys for always commenting and sharing and liking the videos. It makes a big difference, keeps me motivated to help you out more. Thank you. Good night.